turn off the section analysis, go to the analysis section and turn off the section. Now it's time to create the mouse wheel. To do so, we go to Sketch, Circle, Center Diameter Circle, pick the midplane, and sketch out the wheel. Once sketched out, it's a good idea to select the sketch, right click, say Move, select the sketch, and move that wheel to the point in the mouse where you'd like it to be. Somewhere up there. Stop sketch. Now to create the actual wheel, modify, press and pull, select the circle, change the direction to symmetric, add in the millimeters for each side, and change the operation to a new body. We want just the wheel in this instance, and then say OK. With the wheel on display, we can double click its name and call it wheel. We can turn off the base and the top so we see just the wheel. And now we want to add in another sketch. Sketch, circle. This sketch is going to go right on the face of the wheel. You can start from the center, pull up and get a dashed line right to that intersection. Doesn't give you exactly what you want. You might come in and sketch a line from the center, go past the edge of the circle. Now we can add a circle. This is to create the ribs of our wheel. With the rib created, with the circle created, I want to add another large circle overlapping the entire wheel. Now I can use the Sketch Trim tool to remove some pieces I do not need. And now the Sketch Fillet tool. Great. With that completed, I can use Extend and Trim, holding T for trim, and delete. And I've got the first rib of the track wheel. Hit Stop Sketch, go to the Home view. You can design these ribs as see fit to you. Pull that across all the way. Say OK. Now that is one rib on this wheel. To create the rest, we go to Create Pattern, Circular Pattern. And this time, Pattern Faces is the way to go. So I select the three faces, 1, 2, 3. I select the axis, which is simple as clicking this full circle, and then type in the quantity. Double check they're not overlapping completely, and say OK. And now we've got a ribbed wheel. Again, you can design those how you'd like to. Next, I want to come back in and add a rule fillet and fillet one side of the wheel. Then right click and repeat that, and the other side. Make it smooth all around. And you notice in the render environment, it's going to give a nice clean edge all the way around. Now with that wheel, I'm going to go ahead and save. Now the next step is to take your top and create a hole for this wheel to fit in. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and go to Construct and Tangent Plane to face at a point. Right there. Doesn't give you the results you need. You might want to come back. Construct Tangent Plane. So right here, and adjust that plane. Get the tangency we want. Right there. Okay, with that we've got a plane to sketch on. I'm going to go ahead and create a sketch. I'm going to do a center. I'll start with a line. Click on this plane. Now to get some of this geometry as a reference, I'm going to go Sketch, Project Include, and Project. This is important because you can see the center point of this plane I'm working on is off center from the mouse. I don't want to use that. So I'm going to grab one of these lines. That's going to give me a place to snap to. I can snap to the midpoint, draw up vertically. Now I've got the center of this wheel. I want to make sure I draw at the center of the wheel. With that, I can sketch out a rectangle. Center rectangle, right about in the midpoint of this mouse wheel here. There it is, a rectangle. Come back, I can delete out some of the lines I don't need anymore. I can add a fillet, a sketch fillet, to each corner. Right click, repeat fillet. And stop sketch. Go to the home view. Now with that, I'm going to temporarily turn off the wheel and use the Modify Press and Pull command. Select this shape, drag it down through the mouse, top, and say Cut. Now you can experiment with the taper angle. Taper angle will open up this hole. That's why I drew the rectangle a little bit smaller and give that wheel more room to turn. Get and turn on the wheel so I can see that there. You can see it's overlapping these areas, so I can increase the taper angle until it's included. Say OK. Oops, and I should have turned off the wheel, so I don't want to cut that wheel. Let's go back and edit this. Objects to cut, I'm going to turn the wheel off and auto select. So it just selects the mouse top, and say OK, and then turn the wheel back on. It does not cut things that are not visible. And so now I can see that hole, and it's tapered to allow the wheel to turn within the hole. Now with that, I need to come up with a strategy to create the left and right click. There's some different things you can do. You can draw out buttons using a sketch, and then you could use the Modify Split Body to create some actual buttons. I'm going to create for mine a simple split. So to do that, I'm going to create a line on the ground plane. I'm going to start in the center and take that straight on out. going to then offset that on both sides. And determine where I want that split to end and create another sketch. I'm going to use a circle, center diameter. Over here. And I'm going to use the trim, which is T. Trim out the parts I do not need. Here. Hit escape. Delete the lines I don't need. And to make this shape useful, it needs to be closed, so I'm going to close the end. Stop sketch. Now I can say modify, press, pull. Before I do that, I want to turn off the wheel. I only want to cut the top. Press and pull. Grab this profile, drag it all the way through the mouse. All the way through. Say OK, now I've got that split. Now I can finish this up by creating a fillet, modify fillet. Play with this. Sometimes you can only click so many edges and have it work, but we'll try clicking all of them at this time. 0.25. Create a nice fillet there. And say OK. With that, turn the wheel back on, and you can turn the base back on and see that result. Good time to save.